So, good evening everyone. Welcome to Damage Does D&D, the Helloran Rising campaign, episode 22. It's amazing they've all lived this far. So,
and a monk.
and a monk to level 5, you are obviously doing something right. Or I just haven't got the hang of killing you yet.
Or something horribly wrong.
Well, yeah. So, the last we were here, in the aftermath of the fight in the temple, bar, whatever, you investigate the crack in the floor that Melissa had spotted, and on breaking it open, you discover a set of steps leading down into darkness. Snow and Melissa investigate, but Melissa goes back to get the rest of the crew, while Snow vanishes into the dark. Snow listens very carefully and can hear the faint sound of breathing coming off to the left. As the rest of you coming back down, not seeing Snow in his stealthiness, you do spot some slime-like trails going left and right. Whilst working out what to do, Yorick and Gus state that this place does not look structurally very sound, and when Gus mentioned that a swipe from Bridris' tail might collapse the whole place, Bridris misunderstands and crashes its tail into a pillar. Luckily, the pillar is not actually attached to anything and just crumbles into dust. Gus decides that Bridris does not really need to be here right at this very minute. So, Celeste, Yorick, Gus and Florian follow the trail of slime right, while Melissa and Trelador, at a slight distance, go left, leaving Miette at the bottom of the stairs. The right-hand gang go a very, very long way, estimating they're probably well underneath the next door building to the temple above. They find a pile of bodies at the end of the trail. Florian recognises most of them as worshippers. And also the barman from upstairs. Hearing a scream back where they came, you start to run back. Meanwhile, Snow puts a paw onto Melissa's hand, the cause of said scream, and Trelador rushes to her aid, as does Miette. And when the rest of the group catch up and find out it was just Snow melting out of the darkness, you all decide to carry on, even though Yorick advises against this very strongly due to the state of the foundations this way. Walking further on, you find yet another pile of bodies, and again Melissa and Florian recognise them as worshippers, and Snow recognises one of the bodies as well, as Hargrim, his dwarf friend and trainer. One of the bodies is, however, still alive, Sifrai, a tiefling. As Celeste and Melissa go to help her, the dwarves are getting ever more anxious about the imminent collapse of the building, and you agree to carry Hargrim's body and the still alive Sifrai up out of the cellar. The dwarves and Snow hold a service for Hargrim with the genuine dwarven ale and console Snow. Yorick has a moment of communion with Riorx, who tells him to stop killing the bloody dragons, amongst other things. Melissa, meanwhile, learns from Sifrai that Vale was going to go on a mission with Dunnux, or Dunks, as he's known, as her bodyguard. They were going to go south to somewhere called the Dead Forest, as there was something that Vale needed there. Sifrai didn't know what this was, only that Vale needed it. With the celebration of Hargrim's life getting a bit louder, as singing has started, Sifrai passes away, and the floor starts to shake. Pausing only to grab the barrel of genuine dwarven ale, TM, you all rush out of the building as it collapses in on itself, the dust filling the air around you and drawing a crowd. Deciding to get out of Dar, you head out of the eastern side of the city. Just as you're about to exit, a young lad brings a package to Celeste and asks for a silver to deliver it, which Snow pays. Deciding not to open it immediately, the group presses on southwards and finds a camp for the night. Miette starts to inscribe runes all around the camp to try and ward off the fog, and as various discussions are had, Celeste opens up her package away from the group and finds a note from a betrothed and the severed hand of her mother. wanting to go straight back to the city to stop any more of her family getting hurt. Celeste starts to gather her things, but Melissa talks her into staying for the night, at least, and discussing it in the morning. And that is where we pick it up. You're just about to go to have a rest, or perhaps not. It's entirely up to you. What would you like to do?
If we're all gonna stay here tonight, I'll quite happily take the first watch, so we can all get some rest back up.
I think that would be a good idea. We need to rest up. There's no point wandering around in the dark, is there? Not after the day we've had.
It's a mighty fine idea.
I would just disappear back into his tree.
Fair enough. Give me a stealth roll. Let's have a look.
20.
20, yeah. Nobody notices snow sort of melting back into the dark and up into the tree.
My passive perception is 20, so I might just see a tail.
You're focused on a hand in a box.
Yeah, I'm going to rule that you don't see it disappear as you are otherwise occupied.
Very true.
So just to clarify, we've just left Dar and we're going back to Dar, yes?
I think we should discuss and make our plans in the morning. We can think and discuss everything through.
Feel free to do whatever you like, Trellador.
Oh no, I'm a team player now. I'll go with what's the majority. We'll do
What's
more
that?
talking in the morning, my favourite.
You all wanna get some rest then and heal up? Anybody else wanna take a watch with me?
Yeah, I'll go first. I got plenty more beer to get through.
Well, don't drink it all. Save some for me.
Oh, I couldn't drink it all.
Here,
Try.
you can have the rest of mine. It's just a little intense for me.
Takes a bit of getting used to. Took me till I was nearly 4 before I was used to it.
And this isn't the good stuff.
Okay, so everybody is going to sleep apart from Florian and Yorick, is that correct? Snow, I'm assuming you're sleeping in the tree, are you?
Yeah, he'd be awake for a while. With the first watchers, just keeping watch.
Okay, then
On high.
Perception checks for all three of you then, please.
12.
12.
Oh, there's a start. 26.
Wow, okay.
And mine's a non-natural 20.
Oh no, sorry, 13.
13. That makes all the difference, obviously.
I forgot my proficiency bonus had gone.
Okay, so Snow, you watch as the rest of them sort of get down for the night, and you just sort of Branch is very comfy, and you just sort of not exactly sleeping yet, but in that sort of dream state, half awake, half asleep. So you're kind of conscious of what's going on, but not really. Florian, you keep a good watch out. The place is not exactly flat, but it's not mountainous or hilly. It's farmlands mainly, and you can see for quite a while. There's the lights back of the city where you've left, and then you see far in the distance another light, perhaps a farmhouse or something, but nothing seems to be stirring out in the sort of hedgerows or anything like that. Yorick, you see all of this, and you also see the runes on the ground that Viet has inscribed, and you see one at the southern end of the camp seems to be glowing slightly. It's really faint. It's a very faint glow. And as you look out towards the south, you can see tendrils of mist and fog just approaching. Not quickly, slowly, but they are definitely approaching.
I'll get up and move towards the glowing rune. I won't go as far as it. I'm staying a good 5-10 feet back, just to make sure that the fog itself is only sort of protruding up to that rune,
Yeah.
and not beyond.
There's a sort of tendril, almost like a fingertip, just sort of touching the rune, which just appears to be glowing ever so slightly. But the fog is very slowly moving in, and it doesn't appear to be doing anything particular. You're not sure whether this is dangerous fog or natural fog or what.
I'm assuming I would have noticed this with my perception, him walking up to it.
Yeah, you certainly see him walking down to the south of the camp.
I would follow if we're both on watch, just to...
Mm-hmm. Do you see that?
I do. And question for DM. Every time we've been in one of Miette's pre-made campsites, we've always seen her kind of do that. Not obviously quite like that, but we haven't seen anything glow, have we?
I mean, no, you don't recall any of them glowing, certainly.
And one who's hot on the arcane style of this world, or any matter for that fact, Garrick, but I'm not entirely sure if this is the best thing if there's this fog coming in.
Oh no. Spend most of our time running away from the fog.
It's touching the rune. It's not like touching a barrier like it has done before. It's touching the rune.
Yeah, there's a small tendril just sort of touching the edge of the rune.
Unless you've got an idea, which I'm not entirely sure you will, can I? And I'm just going to walk over to Melissa. I'm going to gently wake her.
Okay.
What is it? My turn to watch?
Not quite, it hasn't been that long, but your expertise will be appreciated here.
What is it?
I'll kind of help her get up and walk over to the south entrance and rune and just point everything out.
I'll have a look.
I don't remember anything like this happening with any others, and it's actually touching it this time. And you're the magic one. I ain't, but I didn't think Celeste deserved to be woken up too early after the day she's had.
That's fair. Can I carefully study this to see what's going on here?
What are you studying? The rune? The fog?
The fact that the fog is able to touch the rune.
You'll have to give me a little bit more than that.
Can I carefully study the rune to make sure it's the same as the previous ones we've had?
Ooh, if you're comparing it to memory, then yeah, let's do a...
Comparing it to the one that Mia had made for me.
Oh, the one on your necklace?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure, you can make a quick perception or investigation check. It's entirely up to you which one.
We will go for perception. Oh, yeah. Proficient. 15.
15. Yeah, looks identical. Slightly bigger on the ground than it is on the necklace that you have.
Okay, can I next look up to the fog and see if there's anything different about it?
Okay. The fog looks to be normal fog. What are you comparing it to? The
deadly killer fog we met.
okay.
before.
make a straight up intelligence check.
15.
15. I mean, it doesn't seem to be moving like the other fog did. It looks. It doesn't look the same. It looks different somehow. We're not sure how.
This ain't the same as the previous fog we saw.
Is it just normal fog, do you think?
I ain't certain. The way it's reacting to the runes is certainly strange.
Make a nature check. Any of the three of you that want to.
Yep.
You can try it. No, 9.
17.
Yeah, same, 17.
Yeah, you look at this fog, and where the rune is glowing, it's literally fog. I mean, this looks like normal fog, and it's coming over the rune, and it looks to be the moisture in the fog that's making the rune glow. Doesn't appear to be magical, it's just the light from the fire reflecting in the moisture on the rune.
I think you're all clear. I think it's just regular fog. It's just a trick of the light.
In fact, as you look around, you can see fog sort of swirling around past the rune.
Okay, I just wanted to double make sure this magic stuff, like I said, ain't my hard point.
Understandable.
Thanks, Melissa. Do you want me to wake you up next for the next one? Or?
Yeah, let me get the last few minutes in. I'll be ready to train for it.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go back to sleep.
Sorry, Ark. I just thought an extra pair of eyes and somebody with a...
Don't apologise to me. It was probably the safe thing to do. It's Melissa. You should apologise to her. It was her you woke up.
Yeah, but I have done, and I'll do that again in the morning. But let's keep an extra vigilant eye out tonight, just in case there's something up with this fog where it's changed its tactics or something. Probably hasn't, but overthinking things here.
I will put my beer down.
You sit and you watch for until the end of your watch. And
Before we... Sorry, I was going to say,
go
before we do that, I was going to say... just want a bit of a conversation with the Ark. I know there was, at the beginning, that little bit of a secret thing between all of us. You and Gus had a few extra, but we mentioned dragons when the time came to having to mention them. And you said that you actually had a bit of a conversation with your god. I don't dismiss that. It's just for us in Dar especially, and around the world, not in the mountains where you come from, gods haven't been a thing for years. So I don't know what to make of it, but if yours is telling you not to kill the dragons, then I'm on board with that. I know it'll take a bit of getting used to for you and for Gus and for all of the dwarven folk, but if you need help with it, like with Celeste or anybody else in this group, I'm there.
I appreciate that, Florian, and this is strange times for us all, really, isn't it? We're
Well,
finding out new things that we didn't think could possibly be true.
dragons and people from not of this world and extra monsters we've never known of? Yeah, definitely, but I think we can all do it.
A few weeks ago, I thought the dwarves in the mountains were all that there was. I find out there's whole towns and cities of all other folk, so it's all a bit strange, but I'm just glad Gus and I have found a good group who are trying to do some good.
Me too, and I know he says it a lot, but just in case anything does happen, just make sure you do write everything down. Words can go a long way.
I'm gonna need to pick up some more paper next time we're in a town.
Definitely. Thank you, Yara.
You too.
So as you come to the end of your watch, the fog appears to be dissipating, leaving a clear, cloudless night. You can see the stars. Who would you like to wake up?
So, would it be roughly about the same time where at least one of the elves would be?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take a full 4-hour watch, you can do that, sure. Or
I'd be
you
happy
can
to
do
stay up a
3
bit
hour.
longer. Just for the simple fact that I'd want to do the 4 hours just so at least Melissa could get her then a full rest in as well.
Sure. Okay.
So if need be, I'll.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
not,
the pair of you can stay up for 4 hours. It's entirely up to you guys, whatever you want to do with watches. The only stipulation is you get an 8-hour session where you don't
Yeah.
expend any energy doing anything, so you're sleeping or on watch.
okay, cool. You want to stay up just for an extra hour or so, Yark, or do you want to go to bed?
No, it's alright. I can stay up.
Make another
Yeah.
quick perception check for me then, Peregrine. As I'll say, Snow, you've just drifted away, asleep, in that big cat pose, you know, sort of lying flat on the branch, all 4 paws hanging down.
Arms dangling down.
Full
That's
leopard.
that in my box.
21.
I'm glad you got that because mine was definitely not that good. Mine was 6 this time.
Yeah, this, as I said, the sky is clearing. You can see there's some sort of gentle slope down. You can see at the bottom of the slope there's a pool of mist, but it doesn't seem to be moving. It just looks as though that's where that mist would collect naturally. And yeah, it's shaping up to be clear. It's a little chilly, but mainly clear and cloudless night. But nothing untoward as far as you can tell. So you reach the end of your watch. Unless there's anything else you want to do.
That
Who's up next?
I would go and wake Melissa up and leave it to Gus, to whoever it was. Yorick, to whoever it is.
I imagine the elves would be stirring around this time.
Yep, they certainly are.
So I'll just make sure that they're awake and apprised of the normal mist.
Anything happen?
No, not really. There was a little bit of mist, but I think it's just normal stuff. Just keep an eye out.
How do you know it's normal stuff?
It wasn't trying to anyone. It
Okay.
was just normal misty things.
Fair point. Well made.
All right, mate.
Okay, so Melissa, Celeste, Trelador. So perception checks, please.
6.
Nice.
19.
Very nice.
14.
14. So, yeah, Trelador. It's quite dark, stars are out, it's pretty. The rest of you, yeah, there's that sort of little patch of mist down the bottom of a sloping hill that you can see, but it doesn't appear to be. Well, Celeste, you can see it. Melissa, you might have a little more trouble. It's a bit too far away for you, but it is dark out here. But the sky is full of stars, and yeah, it appears to be a crisp, cold night. unless there's anything you wish to do, we can fast forward to the end of your watch, or just conversations you wish to have.
So I think in the morning you two are going to have a little fight, aren't you? One wants to go to Dar, one wants to go somewhere else.
I'm not going to fight with anybody.
Sorry,
No.
discuss.
Certainly ain't gonna be a fight. We're gonna discuss what we need to do.
Joking. Lighten up.
Well, things are certainly interesting at the moment.
Hmm. Do you anticipate it getting this interesting when you decided to make some deals with Devil?
I only made a deal with one,
Oh, that's okay then. One.
and she's as kind as can be.
Well, we'll just have to take your word for that. Let me know how far that goes.
You're more than welcome to not trust me.
I think it's blatantly clear I don't trust you. You've given us no reason to trust you. You've lied at every turn.
At every turn.
Okay, not every turn then.
But don't you worry, Celeste. We're gonna make sure that this problem don't persist.
I'll get up and just stalk off. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna step over to Celeste and I'm gonna take one of her hands in mine and just say, now, I ain't usually the one to do this at the temple. It's normally Vale's job. But so long as you're in these lands, you're under protection of this Heartseeker right here.
I
And
appreciate that, Melissa, but it's not me that's in
by
danger
my
right now.
word, by my word, that marriage that is being arranged ain't lawful under my word. Don't mean much, but it's what we would normally do at the temple. And every bone in me wants to go south right now, but I don't want you walking off into Dar on your own, getting stuck. So I'm gonna hold to my promise, and I'm gonna stick with you, alright?
Trevor, which way did you go out of the camp?
I don't know. East.
East. Okay. Cool. How far are you going?
Not very far. 100 feet to a wide perimeter.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
When it comes down to it, Melissa, whether I'm going alone or with everybody, I'm still going. I can't let anybody else get hurt because of me.
What'd you get your perception?
10.
10. It's quite nice, this countryside lark, isn't it?
And anybody that does decide they want to come, they need to know that it could be extremely dangerous.
Yeah. I don't want you going off to Dar on your own.
I will if I have to.
I'll put my hand on her shoulder and say, listen, honey. I know what it's like to be in that city on your own. You don't want that.
I don't care about me right now.
Well, let's just sit and keep watch, and we can get ready. All right.
The rest of your watch passes. The sun starts to creep up. The bright, cloudless sky. You could all have a long rest.
Very nice.
Indeed. So, is it breakfast ale? Is it?
If there's any left.
I don't know. Yorick, is there any left?
Yeah, there's some left.
Okay. Well, there is ale available for breakfast for those that. So, a brand new day.
You're muted, James.
Sorry, I was coughing. I muted myself. Yes, breakfast ale sounds like a very good idea. Breakfast champions.
Okey-dokey. So, a brand new day. What would you like to do?
Right. Okay, so I'll kind of stand up. Lots of things happened yesterday. There's no doubt we remember. As I said to Celeste, every part of me wants to go south to go assist Vale, as is my duty. But it's clear that the people who are after Celeste are doing some pretty nasty things. So I think, seeing as we've been traveling together for a little while, and I feel like we're all friends, that we should be helping to deal with this.
Well, if we're going to vote, I would vote with Celeste. She didn't choose the problem that she's in. You did.
With Celeste and everyone else who's going, and I'll just kind of give a look over to York and just give him a nod, just like as an ode to the conversation last night.
Yep. We going back to Dar then?
Well, before we go back to Dar, I think we need to figure some stuff out.
What stuff's that then?
Well, do we know where this guy is?
You know he can find me. Even through a portal.
May I make a suggestion? We know of two places where people from your world came from, Celeste. That's where you came from, out of the sky, just outside of the city, where you got landed in, and that bar we were in as well, where the body just dropped through. Now, if they were practicing a way to come through, I'm pretty sure that they can practice to come through where they want, when they want. So, Dar, for me, Melissa would be in a pub or an inn, or what they know would be a disused building.
There are many churches like that. Celeste, do you know how you ended up here?
I was trying to get away. I was trying to get my family away from him.
Right.
I consigned myself to this marriage because it was what my father wanted, but as soon as he set his hands on my youngest sister, I could not abide that. So my brother found a way for us to get out. And one by one, we separated through a portal. And I assume they ended up in different places.
Well, they might be here as well then. You ended up here, they might be here. Just somewhere else here.
My mother was with my sister. So if something has happened to my mother, I don't want to think it, but something could have happened to my sister as well.
And you all went through the same portal?
There was a... people called her a witch, I guess. She was who we went to for help. And she said we would be safest if we were separate.
So you didn't see them go through the portals. Were you first? Were you last?
I was last.
So you saw them walk through.
I did.
Evidently, the witch has sold you and your family out for more coin.
Perhaps.
There's no perhaps about it. If you have fled in secret and he knows where you are, it is quite clear that somebody has told him. Don't be so naive. You can't be this naive if we're going to go up against somebody this powerful.
He
Well,
has money, and he has power, and he has resources. There are many ways he could have found me.
rich
And
people
going
have
back-
a way like that.
And going back to Dar on your own, do you want to die?
I don't want my family to die.
It's irrelevant. If you go back to him, he's going to do to them what he wants anyway. And get you in the bargain. You're just giving him what he wants, marching straight into chains.
Are you telling me you would not do the same for those that you love?
I'm not saying don't do it, I'm saying be smart about it. You are being far too naive and far too reckless.
Alright, Snow, calm down.
We've already lost too many people. We don't need
Just
to
doing
lose
what she
any more.
thinks is right. What you need, Celeste, is a group of Andy inner fight types.
A couple of dwarves, a couple of humans, a couple of tabaxi,
Sort of
maybe
thing.
another elf for good measure if he's up to it.
Well, I think if this bloke's as bad as you say he is, then we'd have to deem him a monster, and that means we've got to go and hunt him, doesn't it?
Alright.
Because we're well, yeah, we are, aren't we?
Suppose.
I think a monster in this case is an understatement.
Well then. It's
Well,
our
you two-
duty. That's
And what you two keep saying about monsters may well be true with this one.
Just having to think about this as well, just so we've got all the information we can. If he hasn't been following us all over this place, through everything we've been through, logically, as soon as we landed in Dar from the boat from the other side of the river, he would have had lookouts at every position looking out for you, Celeste. Right?
He must have, because we spent a week away down in the hills when we came out. So he must have had a lot of people watching.
And it's been, well, we've been here, it's a day, right? Basically a day. That was our first night, yeah.
Yep.
And we've been here a day, so he spotted us as soon as we got into Dar, and that was the one place we knew of. Is there any places, Snow, what you can think of in Dar, what you could get some information out of? And DM, is there any places what me or Melissa would know of where we could go and get information from people?
What I'm thinking as well.
Well, you could make a... Up to you. You can make a straight intelligence check. You can make a history check, or Yeah, history or straight intelligence. Up to you.
Okay.
The same for me.
Yeah.
Based on previous experience, possibly at the docks.
Yeah, I mean you've not actually ever been to Dar before, but
Yeah, but
Tabaxi is Tabaxi, so
dock gossip is dock gossip.
exactly.
15.
15.
13. My die rolled off. Oh no, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna re-roll it with my inspiration.
We
I've just looked at my sheet and gone, you dickhead. And it's worse.
Oh, good.
And being such a nice person, I'll give you a flash of genius and you can add 5 to it.
I think you're thinking of
Oh,
your
you
own
will?
character.
How are you going to do that?
Oh, yeah, that's the other character, isn't it? Oh, Jesus.
I thought you were making a joke, James.
Wrong short
No,
person.
it wasn't. I'm serious.
You need to switch your
Incorrect,
frog brain
dwarf.
off.
You're not making things go boom now.
I know.
You're going
Yeah.
pew 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 pew.
Mine was far much worse, so that would anything who knows anything would be
Okay.
Melissa.
Yeah. Okay. So, Melissa, you know there are. It's possibly one of the. There's an inn that you know of, and Florian, you know the same inn. It's called the Drover's Inn. It's run by a very greedy fat man called Feltis, who overcharges for rooms, he overcharges for food. The food is very good, the ale is very good, but he does overcharge for them. But it is a place where information is traded, or at least gossiped about. There is also, you know, Melissa, a certain temple which you've never actually visited, but you heard rumours that they are spies and assassins, and generally underhand doings. And the rumour has it that anything can be found out for a price by simply walking into the temple and asking the question.
There's 2 places I can think of. There's Drove In, greedy old Feltus's place, Florian. That place is a popular place for trading secrets, and also for placing your gold. There's also, I don't remember the name of it, but there's a temple in Dar. Supposedly some kind of god of assassins or spies or knowledge. I'm not entirely sure, but the rumor goes that you step in there, you ask your question, they get their payment, and they give you the answer. Not sure I trust it entirely, but it is something I recall.
I would hesitate to use gold because no matter how much they want, it seems like whoever's behind this, exactly. So it's either good old-fashioned figure it out ourselves work, or we wait for somebody to come up to you again, Celestin.
Whatever needs to be done.
I think some information would be good rather than just sort of waiting around. I would probably think that a couple of people would go and try and get this information. The rest of us can stay outside of the city. We don't want Celeste walking about the city, certainly. Maybe just you, Melissa, Florian, the pair of you can go in. You'd blend right in that city.
And potentially just for that extra bit of backup, maybe Snow, you'd blend perfectly well in there.
That would be smart.
I would shadow you.
That'd be an idea.
At least we can try and get something. I mean, at this moment in time, anything we're told by anyone ain't exactly gonna be 100%, is it?
No.
Did you recognise the person who gave you the box?
No. Just some young child paid to do so.
We found the child. We find out who, you know, more than a silver. Find out who
Yeah.
gave him the box to give to you.
We're assuming that child is still alive.
Don't be so maudlin.
No, but
All in.
she's right. I mean, he's more than likely alive, but he ain't gonna know. He was just a child. You know what I mean? A description from a child is like saying he was big, tall, and hairy. That could be anybody in there.
Is the stonework in Dar more or less a uniform colour?
No, no,
Okay.
not in the slightest.
Well,
Don't think anything in Dar's uniform, is it?
Pretty much everything is about as far
Not
from
even
uniform as you
uniform?
could get.
You need to be like a chameleon that changes
Yeah.
in front of every temple.
Snow would take off sort of the deep blue cloak that he's got on and pull out like a slate grey one. Equally as well tailored, but it's a lot more muted in tone
Okay,
and would help him blend in a lot easier.
sure.
I like your fashion sense, Snow.
so just a reminder, DM, how far did we travel outside of the city to get here?
You travelled a couple of hours outside the city.
Okay.
Ooh. I've just thought, Celeste, you can turn into animals, can't you?
Yes.
Can you turn into something really small that can go with them, just so you can hear as well?
Or you could be like a doggy or a pussy cat and be their pet.
Only lasts for a couple of hours, that doesn't it?
It's enough.
Yes, I can assume a form for 2 hours.
That should be enough to get in, get some info, and get back out again.
I might be on high alert with the shit we've been through these past couple of days. I'm sorry for the language, everybody. I really am, but these are really tense times. But if your betrothed knows you, your family, and what you can do, Celeste, and he's seen you with us, it might mean that he's going to automatically think you are that dark, that owl, that whatever, because you left with us. We might have just left you from the crazy shit you just told us.
That's a fair point.
Out of interest, what is his name? If I'm going to kill someone, I would at least want to know their name first, eh?
It's always a good idea to do that.
His name is Lork. Lork Mahor.
Lock my hole.
Just out of curiosity, DM, my time spent in Dar,
Uh-huh.
obviously it's been mostly at the temple, but me and Melissa know a bit around it. We have never heard of any like boss man or other temple with a head man called Lavore of this name. We haven't heard of that name whilst we've been there.
Make a history check.
Not natural 20.
Okay. Nope.
Take a flash of genius.
11.
I was just
Oh,
making
definitely.
sure because
What?
it could. I just had this sudden thing of that portals and shit found us quickly. Could have had this thing going on for years. Do you know what I mean? I was just thought.
No, it's a decent thought.
Got visions of James of Cog running up to someone going, because he's called his little friend Genius.
Focus 2 innocent for that.
Far too innocent.
So, we all agree we get up closer. The rest of you who ain't going in, we can find a nice little hiding spot for you, and then it's just me, Melissa, and...
Oh, we'll have a picnic, don't worry about us.
Not a picnic. Come on, Trillido, don't be like that.
I'm not being like anything.
That sense of humor's coming along, Trellador.
You
Keep
just
working
don't
on
get
it.
my sense of humour, do they?
It's a little bit dry. Keep working on it. You'll get there.
I'll flash Florian a really fake smile.
Yet, whilst all this is going on, you've been very, very quiet. Is there anything you would wish to accomplish while they're all chattering on?
Kind of, but to do it properly, I can't say it here.
Okay. Do you want to drop me a little message then?
I shall.
Perfect. I will have a little look at that. Whilst the rest of you do stuff. So, my understanding is that you're gonna all head back to the city, find somewhere to camp out outside the city itself,
Mm-hmm.
and then some of you, 2, maybe 3 of you, are going to go in
Melissa, Florian, Snow.
to try and find some information. Okay. So, I'll say if you travel, how close do you want to get to the city?
Are fairly close, probably within half a mile, so they can come and get us easily if they need us.
Okay.
Because there's obviously the thing, this is just a scouting mission, and they need to come and get us if they find anything out. So we want to be close enough to be able to easily respond, but far enough away not to be sort of seen from the city.
Okay. So if you start walking there, let me just read this. Sorry, I'll be right with you.
I want to thank you all for accompanying me. I know that there are multiple things going on at the moment, and there are things going on that might be more important to you. So I appreciate you taking some time from that. To
It's all right.
Thank you, Gus.
Okay, so as you are making your plans, Miette has been strangely quiet. When she does rejoin the group, she looks strikingly different. There are no more stripes on her fur. It is more like snows now.
Have you done? You all right? You look strange.
They know what we all look like, so it makes sense if someone goes into the city looking somewhat different.
Not a bad idea.
No, definitely not.
When I put this cloak on, sort of would have got some of like the dust and the dirt, just dabbed it down the cloak,
Okay.
just to dirty it somewhat.
Didn't know Tabaxi could change that.
It is a special skill.
Make a perception check if you wish to investigate further, Trellador.
Yeah.
Has the fire burned down to nothing?
Pretty much, yeah.
13.
13. You can't tell how this has been done. She looks completely different.
In the same vein of thought, Snow will go to the fire and crumble the charcoal and just rub it through his fur and blacken all of the visible fur.
Okie dokie, fair enough.
Amateur.
Nicely done. So again, Snow looks darker than normal as he rubs the charcoal through his fur. So, heading towards the city, who's going to be scouting out a location for you to hide in?
I think we'd leave that. We'd look, but I think we'd need the expertise of Miette and Snow to find somewhere suitable.
I might also know some places that we may have used for secreting people in and out of the city.
Sure, okay. Let's have Miette and Snow let's have survival checks. Melissa, make a history check, please.
Are we still on the minus modifiers?
No, you're not. No, that disappeared with your long rest. Sorry, didn't mention that. Sorry, I should have done.
Was that a stack each or the whole lot?
The whole lot.
The whole lot.
Okay.
Thank God for that.
One.
27. That was a natural 20.
27. Natural 20. Okay.
6.
I've used up all my skill points for this evening.
Apparently so. Yeah, you unsure of this particular location. You've not been here before. There's very little sign of your people having been this close to Dar. It's kind of avoided in your culture because it's not worth the hassle, to be fair.
Too much competition.
Not really that. It's just the people that are around the outskirts of Dar don't trust anyone, let alone travelling folk. So, yeah, Tabaxi, the Wandering Gusts have avoided this place for years and years. Melissa, you can't remember ever bringing someone into the city this way. It's always been through a different way in of the city. Snow, you following some sort of the lay of the land, some hedgerows and some rock formations, you spy, you think, you're a bit far away in a minute, some sort of cavern entrance. It's very well hidden from where you are, but it's like the telltale signs are there. It reminds you a little bit of the cave entrance on the island. That's why you see it.
I think I found a cave that we may be able to use. It reminds me of when we were on the island, so I'm a little bit reticent, but it may serve the purpose.
I'll only go exploring if I absolutely have to.
Noted, but what do the rest of you think?
Yep, sounds good to me. We're used to caves in the mountains.
Okay. So you head towards this cave. It appears to be just a cave. There's no sort of... It doesn't go anywhere. It's like a dead end. It's fairly shallow. But you think you could probably put a fire near the entrance and it wouldn't be seen from the city. Possibly be seen the other way, but there doesn't appear to be anything the other way. And you reckon it's a good 10 minutes to get to the city from here?
If I'm going to end up Dwarf City again, I think we should establish some ground.
I think everybody
Dwarf
just needs
City.
to...
I think you're about
What for you?
There's nowhere to go in there. Just everybody stay put. Everything should be okay, I think.
You hear that? Stay put. There's nowhere to go. Gus, Yorick.
It's all right. We'll build a farm. We've still got half a keg of beer, so we'll be fine.
Okay. Be quick. Don't leave
Yeah.
it too long.
Drink it sparingly. You don't know when you're going to come across any more.
That's true. We ought to fill our water bags with it as well, just so we've got some spare. when the barrel runs out.
It's not too bad of an idea.
Please be safe.
We will.
As much as we can, at least.
It's dark.
And
I know my way around it by now.
just as they're about to leave, I'm going to go up and tap each one on the shoulder and say, "You'll do really well. I know you will." And I'm going to cast Aid on them, which means your hit point maximum and current hit points all go up by 5.
For how long does that last?
8 hours.
Nice.
No concentration.
Good aids.
So
5, yeah?
Yep.
so you're just doing those 3, yeah?
Yeah, it's up to 3 people.
Cool.
And it's just hit points, yeah?
Hit points only, just gives you 5 hit points and increases your hit point maximum as well. So they're not temporary hit points.
Oh, okay.
Does that put Florian in like double digits?
I've been in double digits.
One of the points is that spell, so I can cast it on Florian and make sure he doesn't die so much.
Ooh.
Florian breaking his third 10.
No. No, I broke the third 10. It's just I'm now 3 below the 4th.
Okay. So, leaving your companions in this cave, the 3 of you head towards the city. So,
As we head that way, Snow would sort of shorten his stride slightly and allow them to pull ahead.
Okay.
And he pull. This has got a slightly deeper hood, and pull it all the way forward. So
Okay, cool. Do you want to do give me a stealth roll? This is not for like disappearing completely. This is just for being unconnected with the group in front of you.
well, that was
what are you not
brilliant.
As you've disguised yourself, are you going to the city as well?
Yes, but separate from the group of 3.
Okay, cool.
And possibly in through a different gate if I can.
Okay, so some stealth roll from you as well.
Wasn't brilliant from on stealth, but it was still 22.
22, that's great, that's fine. So you appear unconnected with the 2 people in front of you. And the stealth roll from Miette?
Natural 20.
Ooh, wonderful. For how much is that? Sorry,
24.
20.
Sorry, I got a 20, so the score on my sheet was out my head. Just like, oh my god, that never happens. 27.
27. Okay,
Nice.
cool. Alright, so.
Just before we go in, I'll just be like, Melissa, the other one who remembers these places where we gotta go, so we gotta make sure that we look like we're going there. We know where we're going, not just dilly-dallying with that.
I know where I'm heading.
Okay. So the pair of you move off into the city.
We're going to.
You go to the Drover's Inn.
Yeah, drove us in to go buy some overpriced drinks.
Okay. So you get to the inn, you see it's still there. Always a gamble when you've been in the city for a while. So, you enter. It's I would say mid-morning to it's about 10:30. There's a couple of people in, not very many, and you can see. Feltis sitting in his rocking chair beside the bar, his sort of corpulent body spilling out over one of the arms, and his what was once finery is now sort of dusted with crumbs and beer stains, but he's still there presiding over his workforce of 2 or 3 humans who look young, impressionable, and stupid enough to work here. Snow, you see them go in to this inn. What would you like to do?
I would sort of follow surreptitiously and just move and glide past into the bar.
Okay.
I'm wherever they go, I'll find the best seat in the corner, which gives me a good view.
Okay.
Just so
Easy enough.
my function here is basically to watch over them and try and head off any untoward behaviour before it happens.
Cool. Yep, fair enough. And Miet. You watch the three of them disappear at various times into this bar. What would you like to do?
It would be really smart if it got in directions to this Temple of Spies, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. Are you going to attempt to find it?
Indirectly. I'm going to assume that, like knows like, and that if I wander through the city and keep an eye out, I'll see people like myself who are opportunists.
Okay. The city of Dar is full of opportunists.
Opportunists for, a good purse rather than a soul.
It's kind of the same
Yeah.
thing around here. Roll me an investigation check. And if you beat me, I'll say you can be on your way to finding.
Yeah, no.
What did you get?
5.
5. You didn't beat me. You sort of look around. There's a couple of promising leads. You think, I'll follow that one. You follow a guy for a while, but it's not. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere in particular. In fact, he stops at a market stall, buys some fruit. Like he's not doing anything in particular. So we'll come back to that. Back in the cave. Yorick, Gus, Trellador.
Make a little
Celeste,
fire, cook some rations, have a beer.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And look around the cave just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
I'm going to sit at the front of the cave, keeping an eye out on anything that might be coming this way.
Make a perception check.
9.
9. Yeah, it's definitely solid, that rock back there.
Right.
I'm going to sit down with the sort of the attitude of like a supply teacher looking after the detention class, sort of resigned to the fact that I've got to look after the dwarf.
Okay.
But comforted that the cave's quite small and that they can't actually go too far, so he'll just be sort of leaning on the axe, just lost in his own thoughts.
Okay. Celeste?
25.
25. You look about. Doesn't seem to be anybody on the horizon. Are you going out of the cave to look back towards the city, or?
No, I'm going to sit near the mouth of the cave, but not actually outside of it, so I can see quite far, but I can still keep an eye on what's going on in the cave.
Yeah. So you see Gus sort of smacking the rock at the back of the cave, just in case. Trellador is looking bored, and yet somehow annoyed at the same time. Yorick, what are you up to?
I don't know. I'll say when we're all settled, does anyone want anything making? I've got a bit of spare time. I might be able to whip something up for you.
Or like a secret box.
I could do a secret box if you wanted.
Well, I'm the only one that hasn't had a secret box, so I wouldn't mind a secret box.
Do you want to get over this box thing? That was weeks ago.
That's another joke. I'm just not very good at them. I am trying, you know.
Really?
I've never been around your sort. Sorry, that was rude. See, it's just better if I don't say anything.
Probably.
It's not the first time I said anything.
The problem is, Trellador, I find you quite amusing when you're not talking to me. But when you're talking to me, you're just a bit frustrating.
Well, I'm the same with everyone, so at least I'm equal opportunities.
That's fair.
I just don't like people.
Clearly. I think the feeling's mutual.
Well, maybe we'll become friends.
Maybe.
Well, you could always sharpen my sword for me.
I could do that.
Always could do with a good sharpen.
Oh, I've got a
Celeste,
question for you.
the only person you don't see is Miette.
Oh, where's Miette?
Not you, Celeste, I said.
Oh, right, okay. Got carried away there.
I think Miette's gone with them.
Oh well. Her funeral.
Judging by the fact that before we left she changed her appearance, it would make the most sense in this circumstance.
Oh, she knows where we are when she wants to come back.
There is something you can do. Your
Yeah.
As we're friends. Question mark. What do you make of this axe? My new axe.
Well, let's have a look then.
Does it look purple to you?
No. Looks
Okay.
pretty normal. Looks all right.
Just wondering.
I could take a closer look if you wanted me to.
By all means.
Yeah. All right. Give it here. I'll set it down and I'll ritually cast an identify on it.
Right, right, we'll come back to that in a moment.
Can I just add,
Sure.
while I'm also sort of sitting at the mouth of the cave, I would be rereading the note that came with the box. And would there have been a ring on the hand?
There are no rings, no.
Okay. I was going to say, if there was anything like that, I'd probably sort of take it and keep it safe.
It looks as though there were rings on it, but there aren't anymore.
Then, yeah, just sort of rereading the letter, just sort of trying to glean anything from it.
Okie dokie. Well, you have the text there, so if you want to read it a few times and let me know if there's anything else you want to investigate about it in any particular way, then we can sort out a role for that in a bit. So,
sorry, last thing. Yuri, I've just had a thought. You know, you can do some spells and stuff that Reox gives you power to do.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put anything? I don't know if you can make my sword do stuff.
What do you want?
I don't know. Because sometimes you hit things and then you hit them really hard and they go boom and the light flashes and stuff like that. Can you make my sword do that?
I could temporarily. I can make it a little bit stronger, I think. Let me just check my spell list. Yeah, I can make it a little bit more powerful, but it's temporary and I need to concentrate on it.
Oh.
And I like to concentrate on.
No, that's no good then, is it? Not if it takes you away from your proper job. Never mind, it's just a thought.
Excuse me, Gus. There was a queue for his.
Hey, I spoke to him first.
Give him the side eye.
Leaving the bickering cave, the cave of bickerness, as I've called it now, back to the city. So, Melissa and Florian, you walk in, Feltis sees you. Ah, Artika, good to see you. And Florian, yes, Florian, isn't it? Yes. Welcome.
You let me
You've got a little
enjoying
problem
life,
with
Feltis.
accommodation, slightly at the moment. I would obviously give you the best possible rate for rooms.
We're alright, Feltis. Love's fed everywhere.
Very well. If you change your mind, you know where we are.
Is there a barkeep?
There are 3 serving people. One of the younger human males comes over and sort of stands next to you. Hello, can I help?
Just a couple of light drinks.
Got ale? or some wine, or spirits if you're feeling a bit, excitable.
I think just a little bit of ale. We don't want to get too
Some ale, 2 ales. Okay, that's cool.
too much.
Okay. Comes back, brings them towards you. Are you sitting, or would you like to stand at the bar?
We'll stand at the bar.
All right, I'll put
Nice.
them down then. That'll be 20 silver, please.
Yep, that sounds about right. I'll pull out 2 gold coins. There you go.
They disappear. Anything else we can get you?
I'll lean in a bit closer. You don't hear many rumors about stuff happening in town, do you?
Not me personally. You need to talk to Feltis if you want information. Everybody knows this.
Oh well. You enjoy your day.
Well, thank you. That was very kind of you. See,
I'll turn around and lean against the bar.
Feltis looks over. So, information. Marvellous.
Yeah,
What were you after in particular, Heartseeker?
We was interested in a few different things, but well, I'm interested in 2 different things.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. See, I've been hearing rumors about some elven folk.
Elves,
I think.
you say? Okay.
Yeah.
There's quite a few elves in town at the moment.
Apparently one's being hunted for something.
Is it? Oh, that's interesting. Are you a hunter or a huntee? What I'm trying to get at is what exactly kind of information do you want? Do you want information on this target that's being hunted? Or do you want to know about the hunters? Or
I want to know who's
a hunter, Heartseeker?
You know I always am.
I know, that's why I had to ask the question, you see. Because you're giving
I'm
off
interested in
weird
who's
vibes,
put out this hit. Myself,
oh,
really.
Well, I find myself very parched today.
What is he drinking?
At the moment, you see his glass appears to be empty.
Wine?
I'll put 5 gold coins on the table.
Oh, nothing.
And say,
nothing so.
Darling, could you get Feltis another bottle?
Oh, that's very nice of you. That's lovely. I'll have that one. That's 12 gold.
I'll put 6. I'll put 6 then.
That's only 11.
I'll
my darling.
put 7 then.
I put the 6th one down. I put the 6th one down.
You see that the gold disappears very quickly and a bottle is brought over. He pours it 2 glasses. That's very nice. Very nice indeed. Well, as you ask so nicely, I can tell you that there's a young lady. It is. One second. There's a certain half-elf in town. You may have heard of her before, Derek. She's very good. She's somewhat of a bounty hunter, if you know what I mean. And she does love a challenge. So yeah, that's who I hear is the main
Am I familiar with this name?
in this. Make a quick history check for me. You can as well, Florian, if you want.
21.
21.
And non-natural 20.
Nice. Yeah, you've both heard of her. Derek is famous in Dar for being from the Temple of Ichrat, which is the temple of spies, assassins and general nastiness. She is very good at her job, and when normally she brings back bounties alive, but she doesn't always. Depends on who's paying and how much, what sort of thing they want done. So yeah, you've heard of her. So, thinking of competing against young Derek, are we? I don't advise that. Might be a bit dangerous.
You know my work, Feltus.
I know,
You know
but
my temple.
not really your kind of thing, this is it, you know, going after a bounty. You're more of a get them lost in love type of person, aren't you?
How genuine is he about saying all of
Make
this?
an inside check.
Make a
First one
Freddy
of the
Jack.
evening.
This Freddy Jack is sponsored by Damaged.
19.
19. Yeah, he seems totally genuine about Derek being hired to do this, and her skill set and his assessment of Melissa also is pretty spot on. So yeah, I don't think that, you know, it's really your kind of bag, is it? I mean,
I'm just more interested in having a chat with the one that's putting this out. Sounds kind of interesting
obviously
to me.
Derek is the hunter, but I don't know who's paying her. Rumour has it, however, I'm very hungry. I don't know if you fancy buying a chat with bite to eat, you know.
Do I know how much, say, a pork pie would cost in this establishment?
Oh, a pork pie would probably set you... Sorry, I just love the voice. Pork pie would probably set you back 3 silver in this place.
Okay. I'll put down I'll pop down a gold coin with an audible click and say, I think 3 pork pies for the good man might be wise, and you can keep the extra silver.
How did you know that pork pies are my favourite? I really like them.
I pretend not to notice all of the crumbs on one of the flab shelves.
Yeah, and they're just sort of dripping down. That's lovely. And he's one of those people that chew with their mouth open, so you can see the pork pie.
I want to slap him straight away.
He's gross. But so,
I think it's brilliant.
Rumour has it, and he sort of looks around dramatically. So, rumour has it that there's a certain elven gentleman who is back in Clydewater, of all places, who is issuing commands and writs of bounty hunting. There's a considerable price on this young lady's head. Hence why Derek has already stabbed at least 4 other bounty hunters. So I hear. I mean, it could be wrong. It's just a rumour, you see. I don't know for sure, because how would I know anything? I just sit here in my bar, and
You're known for not saying a single word that is certain.
I do not gossip. I am not a gossip at all, as you know, Heartseeker. I just
Certainly
sit
not.
here, and people come in and they have conversations, and everybody has a lovely time, and then sometimes they stay here. I make a bit of money. No, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all good.
Well, thank you, fellas. I think I know.
Make a perception check for me. See how
Is that
much
me?
Yeah, sorry. Make a perception check for me. See how much of this you over here.
Ooh, that's not actually not that bad. 21.
21. Yeah, you catch most of it. You catch the name Derek and the fact that she's a bounty hunter and has stabbed at least 4 other people to make sure that she's the one that gets this job done. So if there's anything else, Heartseeker, you know, perhaps you could rent a room, maybe, or stay.
I'm sure.
I understand that you must be heartbroken with the temple in ruins as it is, and all those lovely people that you were at your temple. I'm sure the loss of life is devastating for you, and my heartfelt condolences.
I don't need to make an inside check to know that this is not honest at all.
Whether you believe it or not, that's what he's saying.
Snow would have ordered a drink just to keep up appearances.
Sure, yeah, that would What have you ordered?
It probably just cost a gold piece, to be honest.
Sure. Yeah. Gold piece.
Hang on, I'm now trying to sort my brain out to ask the right question.
Okay. So you know, if you do catch up to the lovely Vale, please tell her that I am feeling for her, and any worshippers that need somewhere to stay, they can come here. Obviously, I will give you a very good rate because you have been friends for so very long.
I'm sure the priestess would appreciate your words.
I'm sure she will. I heard she's out of town as well at the moment. That's interesting, don't you think?
Well,
Oh, I seem to have dropped a bit. He sort of reaches under a fold. There's a bit of pork pie. No idea how long it's been there.
Sorry, fellas, for butting in here. I know
Don't
we're together.
apologise, my darling. You're very pretty.
But thank you, fellas. But how long did you say the priestess has been out of town for now?
I just didn't, did I? I heard that she'd gone out of town. If you don't know, I mean, I could probably, hazard a guess. Perhaps you wanted to hire a room. I don't know, just in case, if you needed to stay overnight, perhaps.
I imagine if we are in any need, that we'll come on down.
There's
But
always a place for you.
especially seeing as Temple of Rest seems to have gone out of business.
I heard about that. That's such a shame, isn't it?
And how much would a room be for mates' rates, as you earlier put it?
For mates? Oh, I do hope we are mates. That would be splendid, wouldn't it? Just, yes, indeed. Yes. Anyway, a room, you say? Well, it just does depend on how many of you are staying, obviously. Sorry, just reading from my notes.
Fine.
So basically, it's a gold per person per night. But obviously, if it's just the two of you, I could just do that for 2 gold. Obviously.
Well,
Certainly sounds like a deal, but
it does. And I tell you what, I'll book a room just for the two of us for tonight, and
that's most. Yeah, that would be lovely. 2 gold. That would be perfect. If you could just pay the boy behind the bar.
I'll put the money out and pay him in a bit. And so, how long did you say she'd been away, or may have been away?
I heard she's been out of town for about 2 or 3 weeks. So, she seems to have gone south with Dunnox, is it? Big Duncan. Yeah, Big Dunks. Yeah, I remember. Lovely lad. Big fella. Yeah. Got some lovely muscle. So I just like him, Yeah, he hasn't stayed here before. Perhaps he could come along a bit later. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah, we could all be friends.
Sure, that'll be just fine.
I'm sure.
But I think we've got everything we need to know, and I'm sure you've got more than enough to know that you need.
I do love these little conversations we have, Heartseeker, on all your lovely new people.
I do have to say,
fellas,
before we go,
ones, they're lovely. They are, I like them.
Well, anyway, I do have to say, fellas, that you are looking radiant, and we've got some business to go attend to. So, thank you very much.
You have a wonderful time, Heartseeker. You too, Floria, my love. Just, take it easy.
Thank you, fellas.
Safe.
As you stride out, I'll step away from the tavern and then just shake all of the ickiness off. Oh, I hate speaking to him.
How busy is the avenue as we step out?
It's pretty busy. There's a few people sort of wandering about. A couple of people heading up to market. We'll leave you guys there just for a minute. I just want to pop over and see what Miette is up to. So, Miette, you managed to follow this guy to the market.
Yeah, and I have now realised that what I should have done was headed for the trade house and just, scope out the notice board for thieves market and such.
Okay, cool. So you head across to the trade house. trading post. And yeah, indeed, make a quick perception check. With advantage because you're looking for thieves. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna use my inspiration point on this because I don't
That's
want
what
to.
they're for.
Much better. That's a 21.
21. Yeah, you see lots of gibberish, but mainly what you're looking for is the Temple of Ichrat is where information can be bought and sold, and interesting hires can be procured. If you need somebody found, somebody lost, that's the best place to go. And we'll take a little break with that information so we can all grab a drink and have a quick relax. We'll be right back. Let me just pop the stream on hold for just a minute. So, back soon, everyone.
We all have a new favourite.
we're back. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So, Miet, you learn of this temple and its location. Do you want to head back there now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, as you walk down towards the temple, you can see it's a fairly nondescript building. It's a standard wooden door into. And if you didn't know that this was a temple, you'd think it was just somebody's house. You go up, and the thieves' can't mention just knocking on the door and going in. So, what would you like to do?
Knock on the door and go in.
Knock on the door. You walk in. There is a room with 3-4 chairs in it, a table, and a man in a long grey cloak with his hood pushed back. Tall elf. Says, "Hello. What can we do for you?"
Hello. Oh, no, that was the wrong accent. Sorry.
You can use whatever accent you like. You are in disguise, after all.
Yeah, but the accent doesn't make sense in any corner of this world.
Okay, fair enough.
I was looking for information, if you could.
Information? Yes, indeed. We can always do information. For a price, of course. What kind of information
Oh, of course.
were you after?
I have heard some rumours, and I was trying to find a little more information about them. May I take a seat at your table?
Yeah, of course. Take a seat. Would you like a care for a drink?
That would be lovely, thank you.
Okay, so snaps his fingers, and a door opens at the back of the room that you hadn't seen before. It's cleverly disguised. A young half-elf comes out with a tray with 2 glasses and a bottle of what you assume is wine, puts it down, and leaves the same way. Doesn't say a word. So, and this gentleman pours you half a glass of looks like sparkling white wine. So, do enjoy. And he takes a sip, puts it down. So,
Also sipping.
rumours, you say? There
Yes,
are so many.
There are, of course, and you could spend a day talking about any of them and get nowhere at all.
Couldn't we just? Shall we narrow it down? That sounds like a plan.
Yes, it is regarding, and this, I am aware it will not narrow it down much to begin with, but we are in very strange times, and there are many strange happenings in the world. I have heard of tabaxi ships going missing, the crew disappearing without a trace, and very strange happenings in the north. There have been no caravans of wandering gusts that I've seen travelling south, and by now they should have passed us by. But it is not those that I'm concerned about. It was actually closer to perhaps your own kind.
Interesting.
I have heard rumours of people who are from very, very far lands than these. And I want to know how far spread these rumours have become.
So, just to be absolutely clear, you wish to know about travellers from far off lands and how far the information has got about these travellers, is that correct?
Perhaps I have something that could help if maybe you had seen something like this before. And aware that there's probably several murder holes in this room. Miette is going to very carefully telegraph that she's reaching to a kind of like a breast pocket and pulling out one of Celeste's coins that have no markings on it.
So,
and I'll put it on the table and push it across to him and say, people from lands where did not even carry tabaxi marked coins.
He sort of picks the coin up, looks at it for a minute. see. Well, I could certainly tell you a couple of things about how shall we put this? Travellers that are spending this type of coin. It would, of course, cost you. Well, let's see. Do you have information that you wish to trade, or is this a one-way flow of information for money? I mean, either is good for me, don't get me wrong. Money is always welcome.
Perhaps I do have information that would be interested of you, but as I have you, you would have to let me know what kind of information is of value.
Indeed, well, in value. Now, there is something I do wish to know a little bit more about. It regards small people. Not halflings, but hairier, shall we say.
Area?
If you were to know anything about a pair of these gentlemen, shall we say, that could
People who perhaps come from higher altitudes.
exactly. Don't get out much type of thing. Just some information about that kind of thing would be, I think, probably a fair trade. I'm talking names and location.
Perhaps something of that sort I would be able to share.
Indeed. So, as you have come to me, I will go first. There is indeed a young lady. Goes by the name of Celeste, I understand. She is one of these far travellers who spends this kind of coin, as no doubt you are aware, as you have one. There is also another gentleman. His name is one Lork. He seems slightly unhinged, shall we say, but has a very large amount of money. And he wishes to know the whereabouts of young Celeste. And he is paying up to, I understand, 5,000 gold for the location. Now, if somebody were to return Celeste to Master Lork, then that figure would well be doubled. So,
I
he takes
had
another quick
heard
sip
of-
of wine. So, as I understand it, would that sort of information be the sort of information you were looking for? Or was there
Indeed it
any
is.
more specifics you were after? I do know a couple of more bits, but again, I would have to rate the information that you have so
Of
that
course.
we could trade.
I am intrigued that there are people taking these coins. I have found no one I could trade them with that would accept something that was not marked.
Well, I'm certain that we, as an organisation, possibly have a little more access to resources that can melt these down and get them marked as valid coin of the realm, as it were. If such a thing were
I
possible.
understand. Of course.
So, lovely young Lady Tabaxi, a fair share of information was mentioned, so if you would be so kind. Make a quick perception check. No? Okay.
7.
7. Okay. All seems absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah, he's completely trustworthy and the wine isn't drugged at all. It's all
No,
grand.
no, it's all fine. So, you were about to tell me of these shorter gentlemen.
Yes, I had heard. Sorry, would you mind throwing up a map of the world again in the
Sure.
group chat? Because I can never remember the effective city name.
Discord. I thought I had put that already, but
It is, it's just a bit further up.
oh, is it already pinned? Is it?
It's not pinned for some reason,
Oh, okay.
because I was looking for it earlier.
Oh, I'll just paste it and pin it. It's not letting me paste it. Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. Right, let's pin that then. There we go. Right, okay. So everybody can see that, yeah? Cool. Okay. So you were saying?
Yes, I came across two such fellows in Kleinwater, spending some of their time around a forge there, inspecting the weapons, lending their aid to the forge master, and indeed actually put their name upon, well, not put their name, but gave their permission to the forge master to put their name upon the door.
Indeed, and that
That's
has actually happened now. So I
Oh,
understand.
how wonderful. I had left before the sign had gone up, so unfortunately I did not see it in person.
Now, forgive me for being a little forward, shall we say. This information we did in fact already know, so
Oh,
I'm
no,
afraid
I
I'm going to have to
understand,
press you for any more recent information, say in the last week or two.
As you had to verify which elf in particular I was asking after, I had to make sure that these dwarves I had encountered were the ones that you were asking questions of.
Yes, indeed, they are exactly the ones we are interested in.
I had heard that when they were leaving Kleinwater they were travelling south, though how exactly is a mystery to me. There was no boats arriving here with them on. As a player, it's really difficult to do this, knowing everyone's watching me, kind of going, "Don't you fucking will sell us out."
You
You
do
do
what you
you.
want to do.
You do you.
Yeah, you do whatever the
You do you.
What's that? It's a lot of money.
It's a fuck ton of money, in fairness. But that's not the point.
If you don't have any more recent information, we can of course accept coin. We always accept coin.
Of course, I'm disappointed in myself that I do not know more of what you are asking. Such
Maybe
rudimentary information, such as names, does not seem worth very much.
perhaps it was my fault for not specifying the exact information we wanted. It is difficult sometimes to have these conversations without giving away freely that which you could sell. So, sort of pulls a notebook out of his pocket. So, heading south from Kleinwater, yes. Forge Master, yes. Now, we do have one name. That is a Mr. Yorick Scalebane.
Yes.
We don't have the other. So perhaps if you were to know that would be a partial payment. And maybe there are reports of a creature they have with them.
I can tell you that Yorick's cousin is Gus, that they travelled
Gus.
together. Now, Gus did have a backpack that he carried very closely, but what was in it, I was not able to detect.
Indeed, indeed. And I think, perhaps we are, let's call it even, shall we? I think information has been traded on both sides. Unless you
If-
feel any different, of course. You are welcome to debate the terms of our conversation.
I feel I have not given you very much in this, I'm afraid.
Oh, no, don't. Please do not feel as if you have not given enough. You have given plenty. That one piece of information alone will go much towards confirming details for a client. So, perfect. Thank you so much.
I understand.
I hope we have been helpful. I hope you recommend us to your friends.
I would, of course. Anytime there is an honest trade to be had, it is of interest.
We would always welcome one such as yourself back at any point. In fact, there are a number of interesting job offers we could push your way if you were so inclined.
I may take some time to think on that,
Of
if
course,
you
of course.
will.
No tearing hurry for anything like that. We wouldn't want to put any pressure on anyone. It is ours is a voluntary and sometimes very dangerous job, as you understand. So please take your time. If you wish to come back and see us, you know where we are. Well, today
There is-
anyway.
Today, at least. I notice I'm still to find you again. But if I might ask one more thing for either coin or information. I mentioned these people were not of this world, that they're from
Correct.
elsewhere. And you know the names of both of them.
I do.
Am I to presume then that both of them are currently residing in these lands?
Well, I mean, as far as I know, the young Celeste is still with us in this land. I don't know her whereabouts at the moment, but no doubt all will become clear. The other gentleman I know is in these lands, but it's very difficult to get close to him. I mean, I could, for example, find out exactly where he is and how many guards he has for a price.
Of course.
But
And-
I should warn you, based on the information already given, a conclusion that I myself might make is that he has considerable resource.
I was about to agree with the price he is offering for Celeste. The information about him may well be beyond my means.
Well, I did mention a number of jobs, one of which is Celeste herself. Obviously, the bounty is up for
Considerable.
anyone.
Yes, but I get the feeling that with that price, this is not a competition I wish to partake of.
I mean, a healthy competition is always to be encouraged.
It can be delightful, but my client can decide for themselves what to do next.
Okay, make a deception check.
Can't try persuasion, no?
Go on then.
22.
22. Well, I do understand. Clients can be demanding, can't they? They really can. They
Very
really
much
can.
so.
Bless them. But they do pay well. Well, most of them.
For a while they are worth the trouble, and when they are not, arrangements can be made.
Exactly. Contracts do come to an end.
Indeed.
Often at other contracts.
It is funny how life lines up like that.
It's amazing sometimes.
And what may I give you then for that question?
I think what I'd like is, I know this may be an imposition, but just your name. As I applaud your outfit, it's very nice. But those are not real spots, are they?
God damn it.
He rolled really high on his perception check. Higher than your earlier check to put the disguise, but...
Oh, regarding that check, my score actually went up and you said that the thing came off. The D4 came off.
Oh, right, what was it?
So it would have been 21.
Ooh, okay.
Still too low, fair enough.
It's just, he rolled a 22, so it's just too low, sorry. It was so
Yes,
close.
no, that's fine. You may call me Selena.
Selena? Who's split? Now this is a deception check. None of this persuasion rubbish. Come on.
Again, 21.
Selena. Marvellous. That's Celina, yes? Perfect. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you, Selena. I do hope you'll consider some of our contracts. We can, you know...
They do
work
sound
together.
most tempting.
I know. They very much are. Not all of them are quite as rich as the Celeste contract, but in these uncertain times, we can all, you know, hope to do better.
I thank you kindly for your time today and your hospitality.
You are most welcome. I hope you have a wonderful day and that your client proves not to be tricky at all and pays up on time.
And likewise to you. Have a good day.
Have a wonderful day. And as you step towards the door, the half-elf that had taken the drink just opens it for you. She managed to cross the room without you even noticing and opens the door to the street.
The fact that I'm leaving this place alive, I'm counting as a win.
Good work. So, as she shuts the door, you can have an inspiration point for being ballsy enough to go in there on your own and front up to possibly one of the most dangerous people in the universe. But yeah, cool, good work.
I was hoping I'd be able to just charm my way through it.
So, back out on the streets. Snow, you're still in the bar. You've just watched Melissa and Florian leave. Your drink is still in front of you. What do you wish to do?
He would watch them leave, give it about 10 minutes, and then leave himself.
Cool. So, you find yourselves back out on the streets. What's the plan, Melissa, Florian?
Gonna walk and hope that Snow is behind.
Are you going to actively look for him or just trust he's behind you?
I'm gonna trust. Snow is sneaky enough that he's terrified me before, so I trust that he'd be able to find me.
Okay.
4 times.
We're gonna
Yeah, I'd sort of like slow
make
the
way
pace.
out of the city.
I'd slow the pace down next to Melissa. I wouldn't touch her or anything to give away like any thing like that to anyone. But noticeably be able to see my pace wouldn't be as fast as it usually would be.
Okay.
Walking out, but to leave the city, and when we're not in an alley and we're in a place where it's quite open and there's not a lot of people there, I'll have a conversation with Melissa.
Okay.
I'm really glad I paid for that room, which we're probably not going to use now. 3 weeks is
3 weeks is a long time. And Clan Water's far away.
Yeah, but it kind of confirmed what I said earlier on this morning, didn't it? That clan water would have been the place to go because it's where they were both
Yeah.
near.
I think, at the very least, we should deal with Derek if she comes. Because we don't want Celeste getting taken.
Most definitely, but we gotta try and figure out
Other
more.
than that, we need to discuss this. That's a long distance.
It is.
I really want to help Celeste. She's in a situation I'm not fully familiar with, but I know. I've seen people in that position, no doubt you have too. But I don't want to go further away from Vale.
And I get that, and I was getting a little bit closer to my sister, if at all I was. But sometimes you gotta help others before you can help yourself. We both know that. We gotta
That's true, but
spread and share
8
it.
weeks?
It's just one of those things we gotta do. I don't like it, but we're in between both places, aren't we?
Yeah.
But we gotta find a place which ain't gonna get Celeste too seen, really.
Yeah, I don't want her staying around here. Dangerous enough as it is for someone on their own. Even more so for, well,
I'll probably, as we're walking now, kind of check back to see if we're being followed by Snow.
Okay, Snow, are you following them openly, or are you...
Oh, fuck no.
Okay, roll
He-
stealth check, please.
Except that the whole point is that he's shadowing them to
Yeah,
keep them out of
okay.
trouble.
So stealth check from you and a perception check from you.
You're not going to beat this one.
Miet, what are you doing? Are you just making your way back to the cave?
Oh,
Regardless
heck
of
no.
everyone else? Okay, you're up to something different. Okay, good.
Sorry, do you want details now, or are we sticking with the party 3?
That's a 31 on stealth,
31 on stealth, and
but that's a natural 20.
oh, natural 20, nice.
12 on
12.
perception.
You can't see Snow anywhere, but that's not unusual. To be fair.
well, I only hope he is following us. Let's go find him.
So
Back to the cave.
okay, so leaving the party of 3, Miet, what are you doing? And the party in the cave, I will get back to you. I'm really sorry. I just need this to sort of tie together, and I'll come right back round.
Oh,
to you,
no,
so
that's fine. We're
apologies.
just drinking
Yeah.
beer, sleeping.
I was going to apologise as well that most of my interactions seem to be one-on-ones. It just slows everybody down.
No, it's fine.
I am going to go back to the trading post and hope that my costume holds up a little bit better, and inquire about Mickle's ship, which I can't fucking remember the name of at the moment.
The Chenery.
January, thank you.
Okay, sure. You're going into the trading post, yeah?
Yes, and I'm hoping this time I look convincingly like a trading waters.
Perception check. Yeah, you're fine. Guy at the desk, who is halfling. The Chenery. Yeah, that was reported missing. Presumed sunk. Crew abandoned on an island, apparently. That was yesterday. I think that was reported in yesterday morning.
And might
yeah.
be anywhere back from the rescue party.
Not yet, no. The ship has been sent out, but there's nothing back as of yet. But, you know, if they're out there, we'll find them. We promise.
Thank you. I will try again in a day or so.
No problem. Well, as soon as word is, we'll post it outside anyway. Whether they get rescued.
And so, that being done, I'm just going to say it quickly and then I'll be done. I want to try and go back to the market, go back, try and find some stalls selling old clothes, rags, stuff,
Sure,
grab a
easy
couple of
enough.
extra bits, and then attempt to leave the city in a somewhat stealthy fashion, knowing full well that I probably have some of the assassins watching me, waiting for me to lead them directly to all the people they're asking about, so I'm trying to shake off that tail.
Okay, so what sort of? I say, what? How many clothes stuff are you going to try to buy? People for yourself, for other people, or?
For other people, tall, female, elfish,
Okay.
kind of cloak, trousers, something completely different to what she's currently wearing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll say you can spend 25 silver, so 2.5 gold.
I'll go for
Wow.
about the 1.5 gold mark.
Okay, yeah, 1.5. Yeah, you could do that. Get her a sort of drab, grey and green outfit, trousers, tunic, cloak,
Perfect.
and roll me a stealth check to get out of town.
Oh, I have a feeling I might end up being in town quite a while. 24.
24, nice. Okay, so you make your way back to the cave area. The party of 2 plus their invisible shadow. You get back to the cave first. Now, is there anything else the cave party would like to do before this lot get back? You were going to do identify, weren't you, Yorick, on Tremador's axe?
You're muted, Martin.
I was muted. Yep, yes, I was.
Okay, so rolling the identity, identify on that axe. If I could find the axe. Oh, there we go. Okay, it is a magical axe. It is a +1 great axe. There does seem to be some other different magic on it. I will message you.
Okay.
Whether you tell the party or not is entirely up to you. Let's message that. There you go.
Oh.
Okay, and Celeste, you were doing something as well. I forget. I do apologise.
I was just keeping a lookout and rereading the note.
You were. You were going to see if there was anything particularly you wanted to investigate about that note.
I wanted to as well inspect the hand again to see if I can work out how long it's been separated from the limb and what might have been used to do so.
Okay, make a medicine check for me.
It's not great. 13.
13. I mean, you're not sure. It looks like a clean break. You suspect something very sharp was used to sever it. And it looks burnt at the wrist end, so it was obviously cauterised afterwards. That's about as much. You're not sure how long ago.
Okay. Don't think that there's anything else right now.
Okay.
Because it wasn't exactly a long note.
No, I mean, it's definitely his handwriting. That you know for a fact.
Yeah.
So, apart from that. So, you sit and wait. Sit and wait. It's boring and boring and boring. And then you see Melissa and Florian wandering along past the cave.
They're going
Past it
ignoring-
or to it?
Well, it's entirely up to you. Do you want to go past it and double back, or do you want to go directly to it?
I'm going to go past and double back.
Okay.
But I'm keeping an eye out just in case, because
Okay.
I want to make sure we're not being followed by Derek or.
Okay, make a perception check.
Can we both?
Sure.
I see fuck all.
Okay.
20.
20. You look back. You can't see anybody following you. Wait, hang on. There is someone right at the back there. Looks tabaxi-ish. But at this distance you can't really see if it's somebody you've known.
Double back and around, I'm going to assume that that's Snow, really, based on what I know. And then come round to the cave.
Snow, you're stealthing after them, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I keep dropping further and further behind
Okay.
and completely slow down. And then if I can get to a vantage point where I can watch them go down towards the cave, I'll stop and I'll give it about half an hour, 40 minutes.
Okay.
I want to see if anybody's followed us at the city.
Okay. So you find yourself a space. Make me a stealth roll to see how well you're hidden.
That's terrible. I'm going to use my inspiration point. That was a 4. That's not happening. I've got a
What's
reputation.
today?
30.
30. Okay, cool. So make a perception roll. Niet, stealth roll, please.
22 on perception.
22 on perception. Okay. What's your stealth, please, Niet?
21.
21. So you rolled a 22 on perception.
18 plus 4.
So you sit, you wait, and eventually you see this figure, hazy details at first, moving slightly erratically. It's Miette, but you don't see anybody else.
Okay. I would allow her to pass me and carry on down, and only once she'd passed me and I was sure that there was nobody else following, I'd carry on.
Okay,
I'd
you
follow.
can make another perception check if you wish.
Yeah, why not? 20 this time.
20. Okay. There doesn't appear to be anybody following Miette.
Okay.
So
And then he'd move.
you're going to move off as well. Okay. So, those of you in the cave, you see Florian and Melissa walk past the cave. Bit confusing. Perhaps they've forgotten where you are. So, they walk past and then they double back to come back from a different angle so they can't be seen. So, they're back.
Never liked talking to Feltus, but that was quite illuminating.
Where's the other two?
Snow, I think I saw him behind us.
Where's
Wait,
Miette?
who?
She went with you.
No, it's just me, Florian, and Snow.
Oh, well, we seem to have lost her.
That's
Not here.
good.
She did disguise herself. It makes sense that she would have gone into town as well.
Keep an eye out, because what I learned ain't good. So, this feller is after you. Is in Climewater. It's his last known location. It's where he's paying people from. There is a bounty out on you, and he's paying a lot of gold for it. There is a well-known bounty hunter that is currently after you. Her name is Derek. She's half elven,
And quite possibly one of the most dangerous bounty hunters that's ever passed through Dar.
So, we should all go to Kleinwater, right? And then we collect the bounty on Celeste. And then we rescue her.
No, we find that bastard. And we fill him full of arrows, bolts, and however many weapon wounds we can until he gets the point. We ain't collecting no bounty.
We got you. I was only being silly.
I'm honestly...
I wouldn't put you at risk like that, Celeste.
Now that I think about it, how is he paying?
About this time that Miette, you can either stealth into the cave or just wander in. Up to you.
I will stealth in. I will attempt to do a snow.
Go for it.
25.
25. Yep. So you stealth into the cave while they're all having this conversation. Trellador seems to be looking at Yorick, who obviously while he was talking he had Trellador's axe in front of him.
I presume I had heard that last bit of conversation about trading Celeste.
I was assuming that Trellador would be looking at Celeste with like dollar signs in his eyes.
No,
Yeah.
Well, that or it's up to you, Trellador. Which one are you concentrating on?
When Yorick said that, I would have sort of nodded along, and then when Yorick said it was a joke, I'd be like,
Yeah. Don't make sense, because surely the coins would be... You wouldn't be tabaxi more.
No, they wouldn't be, but he has access to people who can remelt those coins into something that can be used here. So it is no problem to him.
I appreciate how well y'all can disappear, but that is the second time in as many days as I've been terrified by tabaxi.
I would appear on the other shoulder and just tap her. Again.
We have a new game.
Listen, stuff was heart failure.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, so both of them actually are now back and just standing beside Melissa.
No, I think you should keep watch. I don't trust that we haven't been followed.
I waited and I saw you come past, and it didn't look like anybody was following, but it doesn't hurt to...
I spoke to the Temple of Assassins. I am almost certain we have been followed.
Yeah, you most likely have.
Why would you risk yourself like that?
Because information is important. Speaking of which, and Miette, looking Celeste full in the face, is going to pull a dagger. How attached are you to your hair?
I mean, she has a point. If they're hunting you and they've got a description of you, changing your appearance would not be a bad idea.
Oh, you said hair. I thought you said head.
No, hair.
Feel free to
Yes, I'm
roleplay
going to
that,
walk
Gus.
into. I'm going to walk into this group who's defending Celeste and threaten her life. That's so sensible.
I thought you were going to come up with some grand plan then to fake it or something.
Well, technically, we cut off her hair, you know.
Yeah, Snow would just pull another one and flip it, so it's hilt first, to Celeste. Do it yourself if you want.
I know it's not what you want. You're going to go to Dar and
And
find this maniac and rescue your family, but it will do no good. He has that much influence on this plane that we could not even afford with our combined funds to find out all of the information we would need to rescue Celeste from his holdings. We would be able to do nothing for her. You can do nothing for your family as things stand. The
He's
best thing
also...
you can do is buy time by disguising you and get far away until we know how to attack you.
That is incredibly wise. Miette, by the way, you didn't see a half-elf when you went in there at any point.
No, but it was implied that there were many people who had already taken the bounty on Celeste.
Yeah, there's one that's kind of well known in Dar, mostly for
Hasn't she
being incredibly
killed?
ruthless.
Hasn't she killed at least 4 competitors who were after
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The
Well,
person I spoke to didn't give names, and I did not want to ask. There was only so much
Yeah,
information I
that's
had to trade.
what.
Yorick, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just going to say the person who delivered the wine and held the door open for you
Was
at
a
the end.
half elf.
Good point.
That's
But,
why I was nodding.
Let's put it this way: there are some intensely dangerous people coming after you, and I don't think they quite realize just how crazy and dangerous you fuckers are. But
They know what I'm capable of, let's be honest.
well,
They know everything in Dar.
They know
most
your
things in
reputation. They
Dar.
don't know what you're capable of. Let's face it.
Well, they might get a surprise when they get a Bridris biting them in the arse.
Aha, yes, and speaking of which, there are people asking after you as well, both of you.
But I'm not surprised. We are quite handsome.
I suppose.
I don't know what the bounty on your information is. I didn't ask, but it is what I had to trade for the information for Celeste.
Well,
What information did you have to trade?
I think that we already knew there were people.
Well, yeah, we did get 2 trying to get us before, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, it's good to be reminded that is not safe for anyone.
And we know that information's traveled all the way down here.
Perhaps they're upping the ante because they don't want information like you got given by your god getting back to the mountains.
Maybe.
And if it does get back, they want to put their own spin on it.
Ooh, didn't think of that.
I wonder if Reox is giving them the same message and they're ignoring him.
It's possible that he's giving it to some like minds to them. I doubt it.
I understand what you're all saying, but I don't want my family given back to me in pieces.
So that he's going to do this, whether you're with him or not. If you go back to him, he will take your family apart in front of you, just to break you. For fun. You know this. This man has spent a lot of money, and he is quite clearly unhinged to send you a hand in a box. If he's willing to do that, he will sit you in a chair, tie you to it, and take your family apart in front of you. The best thing we can do is keep you as far away from him as possible until we know how to strike. Then we will take his head.
I'm going to stop the bundle of clothes, and I'm just going to take Celeste's face in my paws and just say to her, it's like, I have lost my family. I am trying to help you save yours. Please trust us.
And that is where we will end for tonight. So,
There's anyone who's going to know enough about this kind of information? It's going to be the Dutabaxi.
Yeah, I have to ask now because I managed to completely blank the half-elf in the Assassin's Temple. Did I just get fucking served wine and have the door held open for me by Derek?
I mean, it's possible.
There are more than one half-elf, but, you know.
Oh yeah, there's more than one half-elf, but it'd just be hilarious if, like, she was just standing there listening in, kind of going, well, this is convenient.
I mean, it could have been.
I was terrified that I was going to... I got scared by Miette, got scared by Snow, and I was going to get scared by a sword sticking out of my torso.
There's still time. There's still time.
Oh, there's always time.
I'm gonna say, what you should have bought a ready supply of underwear while we were in Dar.
Mia did buy extra clothing, so
yeah.
Yeah, there are spares available.
Giving the Heartseeker a heart attack.
It's appropriate.
It's just
and it means after
yeah. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, after the previous tit for tat regarding, firing at our allies in the butt, the Tabaxi have now developed a new game.
one that was less stabby and more
just
scared of being shithead people.
It's certainly causing me acres of fun.
Just emerge.
Okay, cool. So, I hope you all enjoyed. I certainly did. I hope anybody watching enjoyed, because that must have been beautiful to watch. Sorry about the guys in the cave.
It's all right.
But, you know, there's only so much you can do in a boring old cave while you're waiting for the information gatherers to come back.
I was just watching everything unfold. I was quite taken by what was going on, to be honest. I didn't really notice too much.
That was some, that was some serious shit going down there, especially from me. I was like, wow.
Some big brass testes you've got there.
I have never had more of a conflict between character and a player before as that scene.
That was ironclad teats that you've got.
Yes, indeed. That was just amazing. And especially the bit where he saw through your disguise and then asked for your name and you still had the balls to try and deceive him. Perfect.
I figured he'd respect me more for trying to go to the hilt with it.
I mean, probably.
I mean, it was sensible enough not to ask for his name.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have got that. I don't think you could afford it.
No. And I mean, what's the worst that can happen by giving him my mother's name? It's fine.
It'll be fine. So, if anybody has any questions for this evening,
It'll be fine. Yeah.
please go ahead. Martin looks absolutely shell-shocked.
I was going to say that I thought out of all of them, the dwarves would probably be the least likely to sell in Celeste for a quick buck, but now I'm not quite so sure.
To be fair, like, the armour that they're wearing is worth more than the bounty, so it's...
That's what I thought, but then Martin made his little joke.
That's just a conflict between player and character that Martin wants
I was
to
going
make.
to say, is this a Martin thing from the previous campaign coming out?
That's a Martin thing. Yorick probably wouldn't have.
It's typically the dwarvish sense of humour. And we'll go with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely from a sorcerer point of view. Yeah. Not a problem.
It was sold away in a hot minute.
Some sort of red dragon, but, you know, maybe.
Maybe.
No, definitely. Okay, so if anybody has any other questions apart from Fiddy, no, that's not fair.
No, I'm not actually going to, because it was very lucky that we did get to last time.
I am wondering which characters are considering stabbing in the back, but I think that's not something I can find out about, at least not. Well, yeah, we all know Trellador.
I think aspersions have been cast.
Dan just had his hand up.
No, I didn't.
I don't think so. I don't think he'd do that.
I think he'd be more likely to trade in for magic and gold.
It is a question of who you think is would be most likely to sell Celeste in.
Melissa.
Well, the dwarves don't care about money. So
No, I don't think it's dwarves. Out of everyone, I think, I mean, Trellador's the most likely, but it's on a very, I mean, the scale is from sort of Melissa, Snow, and then the scale doesn't move very much, and then there's Trellador. So, and everybody else is in between. I think it's a very small scale.
Jay, you're the one who keeps telling us players, that we shouldn't trust your character.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, from my point of view, knowing a bit about Melissa's backstory, I don't think she would sell Celeste to. That's one of the reasons that she's the Heartseeker in this particular temple, is because she prevents shit like this.
Yeah.
So I don't think I think she's probably the least likely to sell Celeste out. Unless, of course, you know, she finds out some horrific information about the temple and or her mentor. Which
That's
can happen.
If it's Vale versus Celeste.
Well, exactly.
I know where that one goes, but
We'll see. We'll see. So you'll have a new favourite NPC,
Yep.
Feltus.
I've never heard a voice I could feel the grease on so
Yeah.
viscerally.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call favourite.
No, not favourite
Likes to
episode.
hate.
Favourite performance, no doubt.
It kind of reminds me of Matt Mercer's with the mage guy from campaign 2, whose name's gone out of my head. The really Ickython, yeah.
So,
It kind of made my skin crawl in a similar sort of way.
Oh, right, yeah, could be. Heart seeker.
Just like an amalgamation of like Steptoe and Son, and then like in my head.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then there's
Finny
something
got it.
like a character.
Yeah.
But then there's like a character from the Harry Potter movies, which are just like there's someone in there.
A cross between Steptoe and Fagin.
But it was a cross between the Steptoe and his father.
No, Steptoe was the father.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Steptoe and Son.
Sorry, the son. So the way you were speaking, the accent sounded like the son, but the voice was more like the father.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
So it was like a combination of the two.
I guess what if I don't know, we're never going to know. Okay.
Pretty much.
But yeah, thank you all very much for playing. Let's if there's no more interesting questions for the stream, we'll cut the stream out. End that. So thank you all very much for watching. We will be back here again Tuesday next week for episode 23. Again, don't forget to check out Anne Chapman, Movzilla, Role Playing Gamers, all of these wonderful people. Please go and check them out. They're all linked on our Twitch TV stream, so go check them out. They are all absolutely fabulous people. So, thank you all very much for watching, and see you next week.